Hi everyone. Today we are going to look at the var, let and const keyword in JavaScript. Var is the original way of declaring variables in JavaScript. Later let and const are introduced in ES6 and since then they have been widely used. So let's start from var, how we can declare and access the values using var. So I have declared a variable. So let me log it using console.log and let me clear the terminal and print it. So 10 is getting printed. So after declaring it, we can directly access the variable for this is applicable for the entire JavaScript file. So if I am declaring it in the top and then I am accessing it after the declaration, we should be able to directly access the value, and I should be able to reassign the value. So I can assign a different value as well, and I have assigned it 20 now. Let me try executing it. So 20 is getting printed. This is because it allows us to reassign the value, and it allows us to redeclare the value as well. So I can again declare the value using var keyword with the same reference name and assign a different value. If I am executing it, it still prints out 20. So it takes the latest value what it is assigned to. And here how it works is, so let's see, let's have only x equal to 20 here, and let me move this console.log statement above the declaration. So let me try executing it now. It returns undefined. So even though the value is not declared at this point during the execution, so in line number 9 gets executed first, and then when x is getting logged, the value is not assigned, but it allows us to do this. Like there is no error thrown by JavaScript, it allows us to do this, and the value is declared after line number 9. So this is how var works, and it is block scoped. So I have declared a variable. So let me try to log it. If I am executing it, it prints out 10. So the value assigned to x is 10, and I am able to log it. So var allows us to reassign the value as well. So I am reassigning the value for x as 20, and then let me execute it again. So 20 is getting printed. Var even allows us to redeclare the value. So for example, again I can declare it with var keyword. So var x equal to 20, and then if I am logging it, it has the latest value. So it allows us to modify the value, reassign the value, and as well as redeclare the value. So that is how it works, and it is available for the entire scope of this particular JavaScript file. Once it is declared, we will be able to directly access it after the declaration. So that is how it works, and it allows us to access the variable reference even before declaring it. So if I execute now, it prints out undefined. This is due to var x will be hoisted at top level and value won't be assigned. So it will be undefined, and then once this piece of code gets executed, undefined gets logged since the value is assigned after the console.log statement. So this is how it works, and var is function scoped. So for example, if I am having a function, so let me create a function. So inside this function, let me move this code inside the function and log it. So I need to execute the function. So 10 is getting printed. I have declared the variable inside the function and I am accessing it. So this is straightforward, but the difference is, even if we are having it inside a scope. So for example, if I'm having an if condition and then inside the scope of if condition, if I'm declaring a value, I will be able to access it outside the scope of this block. So since the var keyword is function scope, it allows us to access the value anywhere outside this block and inside the function. So it is completely available inside this function. So that is how var works. So let's move on to let me declare a variable using let keyword. Let x equal to 10 and log it. So 10 is getting printed. So similar to var, once it is declared, after declaration we will be able to access the value for the entire JavaScript file as it is declared outside. And let is block scoped. So if it is declared inside a particular block, it is accessible only for the specific block and not outside the block. For example, let me create a function. So let me move this piece of code inside the function and execute this. I will be able to print 10, and if I try to do the same thing, move this reference inside, like declare the declaration of variable inside a particular block inside the if condition. If I'm logging the x inside the particular block, it allows us to do this, but if I'm trying to log it outside the block, it does not allow us to do it. So if I'm executing it, it throws error saying that x is not defined. So that is how it works for declaring it with let keyword. So this allows us to have control over how and where we are declaring it and using it. So this is the major advantage of using let over var. So let me remove this and then again declare it, and let me print it. So if I am printing it, 10 is getting printed. So what happens if I move the console.log statement above the declaration? So if I try to print the value of x, so it returns cannot access x before initialization, but we won't get this error if you are using var. So what var does is it returns undefined but does not throw any error, but let does not allow us to do that. So this is where the major advantage of using let comes in. So we will be able to avoid unnecessary errors, and we will be able to know how the particular value is getting declared and getting accessed. So it does not allow us to declare it again. Var allows us to declare it again with var keyword and the same reference name, but let does not allow us to. So these differences makes let more usable. So let is widely used, and in most cases we should not use var. Only when it is necessary and that needs to be used, we can go with var. So we should go with let and const. So const, we will look into the const once. Now let's move on to const. Const is similar to let. It is block scoped, but it does not allow us to reassign the value. So once a value is assigned, and if I am trying to reassign the value, and let me execute this piece of code, it throws an error. So it does not allow us to reassign. So assignment to const variable, we are getting a type error. So it does not allow us to do this. And similar to let, if we are trying to access the variable before it is getting initialized, again, so it does not allow us to do that. So we will get the error x cannot access x before initialization. So that is how const works. and keep in mind that if it is an object or an array value, so once if we declare const as an array, so here it may be 1 comma 2 or something, the values inside this particular array can be modified, but we cannot reassign the value. So that is how const works. The difference between let and const are let is block scoped and as well as const is block scoped. Let allows us to reassign the value and const does not allow us to reassign the value. So that is pretty much it for var, let and const. So to summarize, we should always go with const by default and use let only when the value needs to be changing, and avoid using var as it is function scope and it may lead to confusing issues. So that is pretty much it for this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below, and see you around. Bye.